All right, hey guys, welcome back. This is Ted Henschke again with DreadCentral.com here at E3. I'm in the Techland booth right now with Marc Albinet. He's the game director for Dying Light 2. How you doing today, man?
Very well, thank you.
It's been a crazy E3 this year.
Oh yes, a lot.
Especially for you guys with Dying Light 2.
Yeah, it was very, very well. I was super happy to be there, and all the reactions we got are, well, fantastic.
Well, I mean, Dying Light 1 is one of these games where there were a lot of promises and then you played it and it delivered. And it's like kind of crazy nowadays to see a game that actually delivers on its promises. You know, it's weird to say that, but I think the general consensus of Dying Light 1 was that it like really followed through on this fast, fluid zombie combat. So with Dying Light 2, how are we going to see that improve? How are we going to see that grow?
It's going to be more promise and the same delivery. No, honestly, we have really improved what made Dying Light 1, which means the parkour and the combat and the day and night cycle. We have improved it a lot. So parkour is about, I'm going to say, double of moves in terms of quantities. I guess you've seen that on the demo. It's you can go everywhere. You have a lot of possible moves. It's still not more difficult than it used to be. For advanced players, you really can do things that a normal player won't be able to do. Combat also is really deeper, more brutal, more tactical. So you can have those both directions to play. If you want to be really brutal, really if you're a rusher, you can do it. And if you're more mental type of players, just use emergent element in the set and you'll find your way.
So one of the things that I noticed from the demo playthrough is that you guys are really focusing on choice and consequence in this game. But like a lot of games say that. A lot of games say that they focus on choice and consequence. You want to talk a little bit about the choice and consequence system in this and like the widespread implications of that in the game?
Yeah, it's wide. It's wide. The reason why it's wide is that we have developed it on, I'm going to say, two different aspects that are totally connected one with the other. The first one being the narrative aspect. So we have a lot of, I'm going to call them branches. So you have a lot of possibilities. We have dialogue sequence where you can make different choices. Regarding the choice you're going to make, the story will evolve in the direction you have chosen. So you can have a lot of different paths inside the story. So it provides a lot of different consequences. One of them in the demo being that you're going to open a new district, a new area, for example, to play that you won't have if you have not made those choices in the story. But it's not the only field in terms of choice and consequence. We are also really deep inside the gameplay because everything you're going to do in the game, I mean, and for real, everything you're going to do will have consequences on the world itself. It's going to change the world. If you decide to help a group of people in the street that are fighting against zombies, they're going to be friends with you, and they're going to open new elements for you, new quests, potentially new possibilities in terms of they will build something in the world, they will develop in the world, maybe they will build bridges, for example, between buildings so that you can use them. And it's the type of thing that you're going to have. We have several factions and populations with several visual developments, several helpers. We call them helpers. Everything which is related to gameplay in the world, we call them helpers. So regarding what you do, what you choose to do, it's going to be different.
Yeah, so one of the things that they were saying, and confirm if this is true, that if you do help in the demo that we saw, you hurt this guy called the Colonel, you work against him, and it unveils a new type of zombie that wouldn't be in the game otherwise. So like there's entire enemies hidden behind your choice and consequence?
Absolutely, and honestly, if you do only one pass of the whole campaign, you will play only half of the content of the game.
That's like actually crazy though. Like most studios wouldn't do that because you'd be afraid that people would miss out on content. You're gonna have to play through the game at least twice to see like the different branching paths. But how many playthroughs of the game would it take to see everything?
Wow, a lot. A lot. I can't tell you the amount of different endings we can have. We will have more than one for sure. The interesting aspect of providing this type of possibilities is that you can play in co-op also. So if I come in your world, it's going to be your world. It's going to be different than mine, and so maybe new quests will be open, new weapons will be available.
How long is the campaign going to be?
I'm going to say around 20 hours. It really depends. So I'm giving you a sort of average because it depends the way you play. If you're rushers, potentially it's going to be less. If you take your time, it's going to be more. What's sure, it's at least if you want to, I'm going to say, do everything in the game, it's at least 50 hours of gameplay, at least.
That's a lot of hours.
It is.
So will I be able to max out my character in the first run, or will there be like more skills to unlock in repeat run-throughs?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. What you will do in the first round, in the first play, you're gonna have in the first story. In fact, you're gonna finish. You will keep this empowerment. If you restart the story, you will be able to keep this empowerment.
But how many playthroughs will it take to unlock everything? Like what's the level cap?
In fact, you can't accumulate everything because of the choice and consequence system. So regarding what you've decided to do, maybe you're going to have this type of empowerment. And if you have decided something else, then you're going to have different types of empowerment. And we have different type of empowerment that are world-related that we call, for example, tools. We have player tools. So you've seen the grappling, the paraglider. They are tools. We have several of them. We have shown only 2 of them. You can upgrade them. You have weapons. So all those possibilities regarding the choice you've done, it's going to be different.
Now, one thing we haven't talked about yet is the combat. In the first Dying Light game, we had this very high melee focus at the beginning, and at the end of the game, it kind of turned into a shooter. You started getting a lot more guns. Are there going to be guns in this game? Are they going to? Can you talk a little bit more about like the progression system of the weapons?
Yeah, we don't want to have guns as we know them. We are in a set which is modern Dark Ages, so we keep this flavor of weapons. You see, so middle-aged type of weapons, which doesn't mean that we won't have distance weapons. You can have crossbow or bows, of course. So it's the type of distance weapon that we will allow. What's sure is that you're going to be able to craft your weapons. You're going to be able to mod your weapons also. So a lot of different possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks so cool. Like I was saying this before the interview, is that like I come to E3, I see a lot of games. There's not a lot that I'm super excited for. I mean, I'm always excited to be here, but like this is one of those games that it just looks so freaking cool. I mean, I wish all of you could be here to see the behind closed doors demo. You should just open the doors, man. Just display it on one of the walls of E3. Everyone would be super excited to see that. So I guess just for like the fans of the series out there, we have a plot from the first game that then moved into the following DLC, which had different endings. Yeah, is there a confirmed of which of those endings happened, and that's the story that we're going off of?
We are in the same universe, but it's 15 years later, so it's not connected. In fact, you see the story of Dying Light 1 and the story of Dying Light 2. The only connection is the world.
Okay, so there's no returning characters. Okay, are we going to see any of those like smart infected that still remained their sanity?
Yeah, in a way, we infection has evolved also inside Dying Light 2. So you're gonna see new NPC, new enemies, new zombies. And yeah, that's which is an important topic, because what we want to obtain in Dying Light 2 is decided that the day is for humans, so you're gonna have humans in the streets, and the night is for zombies. So zombie during the day, they hide inside interiors, undergrounds, everywhere that is not exposed to UV or sunlight. As soon as the night comes, then they go out, and what we call the dark zone, where they hide interiors inside the day. You can go there inside the day. It's going to be super crowded by zombies, so it's up to you if you want to take the risk. But you will find very valuable rewards inside. So it depends the way you want to play. Still, we are pushing the agency as much as we can. If you go at night, if you're clever and you go at night, you will have less zombies. So it's a different way to play.
So yeah, in Dying Light 1, we had those crazy super infected that came out at night, and during the day there were still zombies milling about, and humans were kind of in these very preset little zones. Yeah. But now it seems like the humans are much more spread out during the day. They're kind of all over the rooftops, kind of all over everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I say. Day is for humans, so you're gonna have factions and a lot of group populations that will be in the street and everywhere in the city. Mm-hmm. What's interesting is that you can have very emergent situation where, for example, you're fighting with bandits in the middle of a street, and because you're fighting and making noises, you will potentially attract some zombies that are on the building just near you. They will go out of the building and attack you and the bandits, and you will see what happens. Yeah.
So kind of I want to wrap up with is this in the trailer. The game is so bloody and violent. Was there anything during development that you did that you were like, ooh, that's a little too violent, we got to scale it back?
Not really, honestly. We are still on the same line than the first one, so it's gonna
just ramp it up to an 11. You know. Yeah, I love it. I think the people are going to love it. So once again, man, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. And, Dying Light 2, it's coming out when?
Spring next year.
And it's going to be available on?
PS4, Xbox One X, and PC, of course.
Yeah, so anyways, if you like Dying Light, you're going to love Dying Light 2. You'll have my video reaction later on in the day about it. But honestly, this is one that I don't even really need to advertise. I'm so happy to be here and just being able to check it out some more. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Check back later. We're going to be having Moons of Madness and the 2 THQ games I have booked. There's going to be Destroy All Humans and one that I haven't even figured out what they're trying to show me yet. But anyways, find out when I find out. We'll be doing interviews for those too. I love walking into interviews not knowing what I'm doing. It's great. Anyways, this has been Ted Henschke with Dread Central again, doing E3 coverage, and I'll see you guys in the next video.